Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on February 8th. And this week, joining me to discuss some JP units once again is StarUltros. So, say hello, Ultros.
Hello, everyone.
So Magic Markswoman Physalis and Metzi. How hyped are you for this banner, and how deep are you going for these units?
Listen, I got 90k lapis ready to not be spent. Um, usually, Physalis is the one people go to. I'm looking at Medzi for that banner, and the only reason why I am looking at him is because on JP, when he came around, I was like, oh my god, he's such a horrible breaker. He's useless. I hate him. His design was kind of poor, and then I regretted not having him for I don't even know how many months until he was given for free with a ticket not too long ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when he came out, at the time in JP, water was a complete joke, and it just there were no water units. They don't have Chow in JP, and water did not exist. And then Neo Visions Plus was announced, and then over the course of 10 days, all of a sudden water went from useless to the best in the game.
Exactly. I don't want that to happen to me on Global, so maybe I'll try to get that poor little guy. And if not, it's okay. I'll still use Vanille anyway.
Mm-hmm. All joking aside, Metzi, does have some value from what we know going forward, because we do know that, Neo Visions Plus is nearby. The first batch from JP, at least, are all water themed. And he is the best breaker. He's not surpassed until, I think, Waka, pretty far down the road, right?
Yeah, exactly. Waka's the only one that surpasses him. And even then, Waka's only better than him because he's got better damage and a little bit more utility, and also covers the New Visions Plus elements, as opposed to Medzi, who covers water, thunder, and ice, I think.
Yeah, I forget the exact one. I think that's right.
Which are all elements that don't have Neo Visions Plus yet. Thunder and ice anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the banner, nothing special. It's a shared banner, which is, I prefer shared banners as opposed to splitting them, just in case you might want one of the new units or etc. So they're shared. No special perks on the banner, though. No cards. There is a special card, but that's a whole different thing we'll talk about in just a few minutes. And as far as upgrades, as you mentioned, Physalis is getting an upgrade. I kind of overlooked it. Metzi is not, unfortunately. But Physalis kind of needed it, though, because I know people... Okay, so here's the thing. I do know that some high-profile Dark Visions... I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but some high-profile Dark Visions players are saying Metzi is going to be good for, ice parties and maybe, how do you say her name? The Full Metal girl. Olivier or whatever in the future.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying, ice, she's going to be good for an ice party, but at the same time, ice is not the best party. So even though, she might improve the ice party, who's running an ice party in Dark Visions?
It's only going to be for, one Dark Visions, if anything, when you're going with Olivier, and I don't think people are going to do that.
Yeah, it should be 0 Dark Visions. Yes, she's coming out, in 2 days. The current Dark Visions is still open. Even with her existing, for one thing, the Full Metal girl is not here. So is Ice going to surpass either the two big teams right now, which is Light is on top if you've got all the pieces, and if you don't, the Fire Dark Party is in second place. Ice is a distant 5th place or something.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be carrying an ice party into a win, being on her own. And, maybe you want to bring Gladiolus in there? That feels wrong. That feels wrong to me, man.
Yeah, Gladiolus, he did see a little use in the current Clash of Wills as, a budget option, but the only reason people were taking him is because, they don't have Noctis at EX2, and Gladiolus is effectively free to EX2.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I've actually tried doing my my Clash of Wills today, and I only have an EX1 Noctis, so I suffered a lot.
I will actually give a big tip, and I meant to make a video of this. Well, I didn't really mean to, but I was considering it, and I'm just like, laziness got the best of me. But let me just say right off the top, for the people that are using Gladiolus in their Clash of Wills teams, swap him out if you have her. Swap him out for Bewitching Warrior Fight, not Faisal, Yish.
Yes.
Yes, because she's an ice unit. She's also a royal unit. She gets the skills. Now hers are only the plus version. I'm sorry, only the non-plus version. So she doesn't feel enough focus on her own like Gladiolus. Here's the thing: Yish has an auto casting 10 turn cooldown reduction for herself. She can cast the focus skill every single turn. So if you just spend like 4 turns casting the focus skill with Yish, she will generate more focus than Gladiolus, and she does way more damage than Gladiolus. So there's a tip for you.
Good tip. Maybe I'm gonna try that again now.
Yeah, I was gonna make a video with Yish, because I do have her at EX2, and showing like the alternative ice team, because she's basically just Gladiolus but better in Clash of Wills, and people kind of forget that she has that cooldown reduction, and that allows her to spam the focus skill, even though it's the older one. And she actually chains, unlike Gladiolus, which is the big reason I didn't like him. He's not a chainer. He's like a 3-hit capper. It's weird.
Yeah, I've never used him, so I wouldn't even know.
But so that was a little bit of a tangent to get back to Markswoman Physalis. She's a damage dealer. She doesn't really have any kind of utility that I can think of. She does have a self-killer buff, and that is her global upgrade right here. So we're going to pop over to the JP page, and this skill right here is being upgraded. So it is a self-only ramping 200 machine and stone killer. So predictions, Ultros, what it's going to turn to?
250, and if they try to go crazy, we're going to give her the amp to 50% instead of 40.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just realizing right here, one very niche thing you could do is for people that are... Oh, I wouldn't even do anything. I was going to say you could take her instead of Ilmatil and then use Zahn, but basically you're just swapping Ilmatil for Zahn. You're not getting a slot. It's just as dead of a slot. So
well, you're adding someone that can be a chainer, if anything, with Zahn, because he can extreme Nova chain, he can VS chain, he can chain basically anything.
True.
That's something Ilmatil doesn't do.
Yeah. But yeah, end of the day, my opinion.
We're not using her.
Yeah, this unit is like, if you're a Physalis fan, by all means have at it. I hope you get her in one pull. But for everyone else, I would be very shocked if she makes any kind of difference on global.
Agreed.
But then we move to Metzi. So, as we kind of talked about, he is a water breaker. I think his grand total is, 200% in peril with his skills plus field?
It is, yeah.
And his damage is terrible. So he's basically slightly better than Vanille's damage, not by much. Other than that, he's a water breaker, and he's going to be the best water breaker going forward unless Global adds an exclusive. But yeah.
And he's a bit awkward to use with his breaks, because if you use like his big break, it's not going to break until turn 3. It's like his good breaks are only usable as an SLB, if anything, because you got to use that cooldown ability that applies something that recasts. That's going to cast something else on after 3 turns, which is going to be the 89% break. But it applies the 200, the field and the water imperil from the get-go. So then you kind of have to use the other breaking skills, like the 85% regular break, if you want to have any kind of break from him from the get-go.
The funny thing is, I have him at EX2 in JP, just from off banners. I have never used him, so I don't even know how to use it. It's just because, like, the whole water craze, I pretty much just bypassed it entirely. I didn't go for the initial NV pluses, so I never used water, so I've never used Metzi.
Yeah, I've only ever used them because I had to with my team, because at some point Vanille doesn't really make the cut anymore. I mean, the break, the Imperil was still nice, the break was still fine. But when you have the whole water meta in your team, you want to have a good breaker that can deal a little bit of damage. And on top of everything, he brings a billion or two to your fight, as opposed to Vanille, who doesn't even bring like half a billion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we mentioned a new vision, a new vision card. So here is a separate step up, not related to the new units at all. The rate ups for this ones are Laguna, Evoker, Songstress Yuna, and Troll Voyager Fina. I mean, it's true. And this will give you a new vision card, which we're going to pop to. This is the Faisalus and Metzi card. It's totally who cares. But this one is 170 attack and magic for warder units and 100 LB damage, a little bit of resist, and 500 flat. I mean, if like we didn't have 2 different free water cards in the pool that at this point most people probably have 7 different copies of, I would say maybe. But unless we're getting like a hybrid water unit for global exclusives on February, I can't see where this is going to matter, because for the mages, you're going to give them the Water Dragon card, and then there is a physical one for water, right?
No, the water is only physical. It's attack and defense. So if you want
so
something
there
with magic,
is
you're gonna
there
get them.
so there's none for magic then? I thought there was.
No, so that would be what but the only water unit you're gonna get that's magic is Sophie. And I think if anything, you're just gonna give her her own card. She's not. Is she premium?
She is, yes, and her card is definitely better, but of course it is an EX3 only card.
Mm-hmm. So then, I mean, you can still give her any other card that's going to fit her. We have tons of 170 card at this point, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just looking at this card, like I'm just like I'm wondering why, like because they've done good cards with the active abilities, like the active killer,
Yeah.
which are not as good, but then the active amplifies, which are really good. There's just nothing here. Like, is this really going to tempt? I mean, obviously, the big spenders are going to go for it no matter what. But like, just for like a general player, is there any justification for going 28,000 for this card?
I think it's a trap, because they know people have a crystal ball and they want to go into the water meta with a water card, but they haven't thought about people knowing you can just get the regular off banner card, water card for the same attack, and they didn't want to give it that 100% amp, or the ramping amp, probably because they didn't want to shoot themselves in the foot with Sophie, whose big selling point is that AoE 100% amplify,
Mm-hmm. Well, too bad for them. I already pulled the card for Nicole a while back. I've already got it. The 100 amp card.
I'm pretty sure I have it too, so I don't think I'm going to need this, nor Sophie, actually.
And then the only event we're getting is the gear stage. This is like a real disaster, dude. This is crazy. So the gear stage for Faisalus's clothing. Yay! You go in here, you kill the bird in a turn, and that's it. Do you?
Done for the week.
I know, like they are skipping. Like okay, we've been sort of conditioned to skip some stuff, but they are skipping so much with this event. We're gonna pop over real quick to just a list of the stuff we're skipping. For one thing, some of the major application level changes. I understand this not coming on time because these are usually tied to the app update, which is obviously not in sync with JP, but just for completeness sake. So the gearing change, where any kind of gear with unit bonuses always filters to the top. I love that change in JP. It is such a huge quality of life change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being delayed. And again, I understand this. This is probably tied to an application update. We're probably, I hope, getting this at the end of the month, which is when Global usually gets their app updates. And then the change to Mirage. For 7 years, Mirage would never stack. It would always overwrite. They fixed that in JP. Now it will stack. Not stack together.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, not stacked together. Like you can't use you can't double cast a 1-stack Mirage. But what it means is if you've got like a 5-stack Mirage from Sylvie, and then let's say on turn 2 you use Ibarra's Bolting Strike, which is a double stack Mirage. it will not override the 5 stack any longer. It will exist side by side. The same thing as using 2 different stat buffs. Only the highest applies, but they coexist. So they fixed that.
That's actually pretty good because you sometimes have some unit that will have on one of their buffs, they're going to have a little self mirage that's tied to it for like 1 attack, and then you're like, whoops, well, I just lost my 5 stack. Well, that's not going to happen anymore if we have that QOL at some point.
Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind, this is not coming in on this week. This came in during JP on this week. But then the stuff that we should have been getting is the Sealed Tower, the level 3 of the Sealed Tower. This is the Garuda Tower. There's a third level in there. It was a big exploration. No new Esper or anything, but it had some gear in there. It had crowns in there. It had, resources like Lapis in there. Completely, entirely skipped. And along with it, the Awakenings for Rus. The older Rus, as usual, Global is skipping all free unit upgrades. And then the entire series event. Like, this is like the whole event. The farming event, all the boxes. This is lots and lots of Lapis we're missing. A bunch of tickets. Gigantors. Like, this is a big deal to skip this whole event.
It is.
It's crazy.
And, I wonder, is this their way of taking back the Facebook rewards again? Well, not rewards, or compensation again? Or at this point, I feel like it's just laziness. They're never going to give us these things, or unless they give it to us next week with Rydia, that's going to come out of nowhere because she's ice, right?
She is. No, actually, she's not. She's Earth. She's Earth.
Oh, yeah. Got it confused.
But yeah, like this is like oh my god, and we're skipping the Pride of Royalty. This was like something I was personally really looking forward to. This is the new crafting thing.
Oh yes, the one for Vlad, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for people that don't know what this is, do you remember in the Far Plane, the Vision of Madeline, where you go in there and you kill him with 8 different elemental parties, and you make the Magicite necklace? Really good item. This is for a really, probably best in the game hat for DPS. It's incredibly good. It's best in the game.
It is the best hat. 102 attack and gives you also 50 dual wield.
And LB damage, doesn't it?
I'm not sure. Let me just take a quick look.
Yeah, are the stats on the wiki page? Apparently they're not. Unfortunate.
I'm gonna go to my JP. My JP page.
But anyway, this was like real content. This was a trial. You kill it with all these parties: Gathering, Another World, Rebellion, Blessing, Evocation, Fire, Ice, and then EXT and Easy. You get, all the levels. You get the diadem +3. You craft it, and it's just like a major source of content that Global is just entirely. I guess I can't say skipping, but at the very least, it's not coming out when we expected it to.
Yeah, and it's something pretty fun. You have to get creative to get all the teams with what you have because no one has the same units.
Yeah,
so you can't always copy just exactly what they have.
Mm-hmm. And it gives us something to do. Like this is the entire week of content. You kill this bird in 30 seconds and you're done.
Well, you have the story update as well.
True. Let's pop to that real quick.
4 stages.
These stories. Oh, it's only like 4 stages, you said?
Yeah, I know they're so short. Like I didn't really count exactly, but it's very short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there is going to be that. Chapter 10, Part 1.
By the way, just to get back on the diadem, it doesn't have LB damage. It has either dual wield, double hand. So it's 50% of both, and it's also 50% flat, well, not flat, but 50% regular attack as well.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, I remember in my head looking at the stat, like it had 50% something. I kept thinking it was LB down, but it was just attack. Okay. Still really good.
Yeah.
And, Global is not getting it, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, so story event right there. And then the last thing is we are getting a live stream. It is Lunar New Year this month and pretty predictable. It's going to be a Clash of Wills unit, And Hiroki is not going to be showing up, so this is probably not going to be that big a deal, which, we can't judge just on that, but it's kind of set a precedent that when Hiroki comes out, they're kind of expecting it to be a big deal, and when he doesn't, it's like business as usual, no one cares. So do you think the Lunar New Year unit is going to be like another Shuiyu or something?
I mean, that totally could be. It could be just like, that throwaway unit before NV Plus comes around. Unless they decide to do something weird like they did with Ibarra with the leader skills, and they say something new is going to be coming soon, and that's going to be like the first global exclusive NV Plus A, which would be really, really weird, but who knows?
Yeah. So I would personally really expect, like, for the whole introduction of a new rarity, especially if it's going to be like led off with a global exclusive, like I would expect Hiroki to kind of be there for that. Like it would be a big deal.
You're right.
It still could be. We're going to find out next Monday, but I don't know. This really does feel like it's kind of like just a throwaway. We're getting like a Setcher rerun or something, like just padding or whatever. Because I don't know.
And I guess it's going to be a water unit to go along with everything that's coming around. Else, it's really going to be a throwaway unit that's going to be completely useless.
We did get the monthly bulletin from the monthly, and the first weakness listed in that bulletin for Clash of Wills on February was water. So
it aligns.
Seems likely. Any predictions what Lunar New Year unit it'll be? Do you think it'll be a completely original, or do you think it'll be a reskin of a previous?
I don't think they're gonna do a new original. I think they're gonna be doing like a festive version of an existing unit, like something like Lunar Festival Cleome that we got a few.
Oh God!
Was that
please no.
2 years ago? That's what I'm predicting. A catastrophe, or more a unit we don't care much about.
Jeez. Or they could give us like the fourth version of Chow again.
Oh my God! No, not another Chow. Don't get me wrong. I love the dog. I love dogs. But come on, can we get something else? Give some love to other units. I don't know, maybe like Lunar New Year Napi or something, because that poor Moogle needs some love.
That actually would be kind of nice. If they took one of like the more underwhelming fan design units and made them actually good. So who were the bad ones? Napi was obviously terrible. What was the other? King Bahimi. I mean, you can argue he did have a few moments, and he was good for a while, but overall, I think he wasn't that great. Yigni was also kind of underwhelming.
That was my thought. The Moogles need love.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, you could combine them both together, Napi and Yigni, and they're hiding underneath those Chinese dragons, like as a costume, because they're parading. That'd be so cute. Oh my God! Look at me designing units.
It'd be awesome. It's just like the disparity between the fan design units. Like some of them, like Kresnik, was god tier for a year and a half, and then like Napi was the most unfortunate. Then she had like Napi killed intrinsics for us on global. On top of that, like it is definitely Napi's fault.
That was heartbreaking. That when they decided to sell her intrinsic, and everyone was like, "Nope, we're not buying this." Whoop. Well, that backfired.
Exactly, and their response was, "Okay, we're just gonna not do intrinsics. Period."
That's done.
Oh boy. But, I mean, that's kind of it for the week. I wish we had more. We've got look at this. Okay, I'm gonna show this in the video. Like, this kills me. Just a little bit off topic, but, like, I understand there's definitely probably reasons they can't do properly formatted news anymore. Okay, understandable. But do something about this wall of text. This is hideous. Like, formatting, please. This is so bad.
I'm biting my lips so bad right now. Imagine, you have it on the webpage, it's much better looking, but in game it goes left and then right, and then there's no alignment whatsoever. You try to follow, I don't know what I'm looking at. No, I don't know what I'm reading. Somebody help.
Oh boy, oh boy. But, well, I guess another skip week overall. Unless you want Metzi, then by all means go for it and hope for the best.
I think what I'm gonna do personally is I'm gonna go on. Oh no, you said the card banner wasn't linked to those units. There's no rate up for them, right?
Nope, there is none. I'm not even sure if they're in the pool. They probably will be, but there's no rate up. Nope, the rate ups are for these old ones. And when you pull on this, you're going to get a bunch of copies of Vacation or Voyager Fina.
I mean, could be worse. Like Laguna already had me X3. Evoker I've bannered him so many times by now already, and I don't know why. So I guess Fina's the one I don't really have. But then again, I don't want her anyway. Like I was thinking of maybe getting the ticket, but if there's no rate up for Metzi,
what?
I'll off banner him with the video summons.
Which ticket is that anyway? That the armory ticket? Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. It's the same one. We're still here. Like, I mean, come on. This is like a really old armory.
It is, but I still don't have Killer of Myths and the other one, Spectral Fields. Well, so yeah. I was buying one of those two.
Yeah, the gear. I mean, the gear in here is definitely still really good. Don't get me wrong, really good. It's just like I'd like to see some new gear.
Yeah, definitely. It's been, I don't know how many months they've been rehashing the same ones.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while. I wonder if like they just decided that the gear was too good. They're just not going to do it anymore. They're just going to keep redoing the same one forever.
It I don't know. Could be, but maybe at some point they should maybe you replenish the store because maybe getting a second tower defense could be good. I don't know.
Oh geez. So just total tangent about this tower defense. I get so many requests on videos. What if I don't have tower defense? All right. So even though this is like a really packed materia, it's not doing anything unique. So for anyone asking if you don't have tower defense, just literally replace it with anything. If you need resistances, use Exceptional Ingenuity. That's Epsilon Nicole's STMR. If you need the immunities, do like Winged Heart, which is 5-star Renoa's. Yeah, like there's alternatives here. This is just consolidated, but there's nothing unique going on here with the materia.
Exactly, and you probably have one of those Reclaimed Serenity or something lying around for the defense of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You can just do what this does with other materia. Sure, it's very slot efficient, but it's not mandatory anywhere, I would say.
Definitely.
You can always, like play Gear Tetris with something else.
Definitely. Oh, and just for amusement's sake, while we're on the topic of what if I don't have, so for the 50 comments from my Dark Visions video, what if I don't have King Vern? Use Deity Tyvus. He's probably your second best alternative because Locke does not get Roka's leader skill. I have done so many corrections with people about that in like Discord. Like I'm gonna swap with Locke. Locke's not on Roka's leader skill, unfortunately.
But you know what I've done actually, because I did that today, copying your video, doing my homework. Oops. And I don't have Burn because I didn't pull for him, so I used Axstar instead. He's still pretty good.
Oh, the 5-star Axstar, yeah, the Neo Visions Awakened one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually. So,
sure,
what did you do for Amplify? Did you give him the fire card and give like Elispirus the dark card or something?
That's exactly what I did. Elispirus had the dark card, and he got the fire card. So turn 1, you do his LB for the modifier buff. Second turn, you do the unlocks with the cooldowns. Third turn, you activate the card. Fourth turn, you can do one of his skills that when you cast it twice, it does a small modifier buff. And then you just stagger the chain so you can have him go with this quad cast.
There you go. That is an excellent tip. Outstanding. All right. Well, thanks for joining me again, StarUltros.
My pleasure.
All right. So I'll see you guys for our 30-second content on Thursday.
Later. Enjoy. Bye.